Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Army and logistical engineers, the unsung heroes of warfare, as far back as you want to go. Taking on a wide, wet gap crossing British Army. Original link to the video, top of the description. My name's Connor if you're new. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's learn. On tune.
What you can see behind us is a joint effort between our British partners and the 43rd MRBC out of Fort Cavazos, Texas. And what we're doing is we're going to get maneuver across this wet gap. And so they're in the process of building bridges and rafts so that we can cross armored vehicles and wheeled vehicles to the far side.
It's a simple drill, it's enabling action that allows them to get over an obstacle and get after the enemy on the far bank. Whilst we're out here in Poland, we're working with the Americans as well. It's just really good to get after how each other do business.
I know it might be boring to some. I swear I could watch a full video on just helmet design or military helmet design. Because the best helmet doesn't necessarily mean the strongest helmet, right? There's depending on the environment you're going into that the helmet is designed for, whether it's protecting you from bullets or from falling debris or whatever. I think that's cool. It's such an important piece of equipment, and I would love to. I could easily, very easily, watch a pretty long video on it.
To get over an obstacle and get after the enemy on the far bank. Whilst we're out here in Poland, we're working with the Americans as well. It's just really good to get after how each other do business.
It is an advantage, a strategic advantage, to be able to maneuver someplace that people wouldn't expect that you're coming from. So it allows you to get around or behind the enemy. And so what you don't see behind me, though, is all of the coordination and effort that went in to enable this, to make this happen, all the protection that was necessary. In Europe, you're going to see about every 100 kilometers, there's going to be a 100-meter wet gap that you're going to have to cross. And so if you're maneuvering through an area, this is one of the challenges you're going to have to face. This is one of the most difficult things that we do in the Army because of all of the forces you have to bring together to make this successful.
This is another great opportunity to get after sets and reps, as we say.
Sorry, I don't like interrupting, but I'm gonna forget if I don't. I'll replay what he was about to say. Warfare, not an Army person, never held a gun. I feel like I always have to say this whenever I give an opinion on something military related. And just make sure everyone knows, like, I am not a military person. I've never even held a gun in my life. However, the thing about warfare is that it's the only thing that really puts two entities together with no rules. There are rules of war, okay, but those are man-made rules of war. When it comes to survival of your people versus the survival of the other people, there's no rules. Everything goes. And so it's like, it's the ultimate competition, not just on your, okay, whichever army has the guys that are best with the guns are going to win. No, it's everything. It is a country versus another country, or go further back in history before the concept of a nation existed. It's just a people versus another people, no rules, who wins? And there's something incredible about that. Again, coming from me, I know how horrible, I can imagine, I think, how horrible warfare can be, but there's something so cool about that. And I'm not using cool as like I can't think of a different word. It's just the perfect word, cool. It's awesome.
The most difficult things that we do in the Army because of all of the forces you have to bring together to make this successful.
This is another great opportunity to get after sets and reps, as we say, with real traffic. So for my troops, it's always quite difficult to do training scenarios and get brigade manoeuvre troops over. It's always awesome for them to get M1 Abrahams over, to get Leopard 2 tanks, Leclercs, M88s, Challenger 2. They love it. They absolutely love it. There's nothing better than being around armour and around the rest of the British Army and throwing them over the other bank. So doing it with the Polish and the US at the same time, it's extra bonus. I'm really lucky because my team are excellent. They're great at what they do. They're really professional.
So what we're doing in the exercise is ferrying vehicles and tanks, heavy vehicles across the water. But we do a thing called closed coupling and open coupling. So that means we can couple into other rigs and make a ferry or a bridge if we need to.
I thought he was American until I heard him pronounce water. Water.
That means we can couple into other rigs and make a ferry or a bridge if we need to.
We're practicing to take vehicles over on.
Freaking, I need to stop talking. Just let me just relax, guys. Just relax. Just play.
They're really professional.
So what we're doing in that exercise is ferrying vehicles and tanks, heavy vehicles across the water. So we do a thing called closed coupling and open coupling. So that means we can couple into other rigs and make a ferry or a bridge if we need to.
We're practicing to take vehicles over on a pond that's still water, which is extremely different to a river that has a current. It makes it slightly more challenging, but it's good practice if we ever have to do it in the future.
And I think this just really demonstrates what our abilities and capabilities are, and doing it with our partners. It's been good. Sometimes some different language, some different vocabulary, but I think it's really the same things. We have the same procedures. The takeaway for me, and I think the takeaway for everybody else, is that we're able to do this. We can be called upon to deploy to a foreign land, conduct these operations, which are really complex. We can integrate with our partners, and we can work together. We can develop a plan and execute it successfully. I think if we can do that here today, we can do this anywhere.
It's a great video. I want to be clear that, you know, there's no person who I respect more in warfare than the person who has bullets going right near them or hitting them, okay? However smart or crucial you are to warfare, there's no one I respect more than the person being shot at. Like, literally bullets for them coming right at them, okay? So I think that's the most impressive piece of military, right? But that doesn't mean it's necessarily, that means that it has an equal level of importance as it does my respect for it, right? Just knowing that all of these different people, from the grunts or wherever you call the infantry on the front line, or the people looking at the radar stations or on the ships, like pointing for the planes to go off, the aircraft carrier, or the engineers, it's just amazing to see all of these things go together. That some might be more frightening jobs to me, but they all matter and are kind of links in a chain. What else? I was going to say something else.
Complex. We can integrate with our partners, and we can work together. We can develop a plan and execute it successfully.
Like what made me main thing that made me think of that last statement I made was the fact that depending on how you put these things together, they can be a singular troop transport, or a ferry for a vehicle if they put two, or a bunch in a line to make a bridge. Is just genius. Yeah, it's a great video. One more thing that I wanted to say is videos like this really show how numbers of soldiers you have, the number of equipment you have, ammunition, and all of these things, none of those things matter. Like, if you get to a river crossing and you don't know how to cross it, you know, in a sufficient way, I don't care how much equipment you have and manpower. Experience and expertise in traversing a battlefield or traversing area to get to a battlefield or an objective is so crazy important. And with allies that I want in the future, I'm going to look at that. So like Ukraine, it goes for Russia as well, but as an American, I kind of see, I don't hate Russia. I don't hate China, but let's be real. Like, our interests are against their interests. If you lose battles against them, then they're going to have repercussions for your life and the life of people in your country in the future. So as much as I want everyone to be friends, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Is that when places like Ukraine or people that have been in conflicts recently, your importance to an alliance goes up so much. And just not just on paper do you look good, but in reality you have some experience. I think it's just so important. Love y'all. Hope you're all doing well. Would appreciate any comments down below. Again, I am the farthest thing from a military person. If I said anything wrong or whatever, please call me out. Tell me why I'm wrong, and I'd love to see that. See you guys next time. Bye.